So we've spoken about the app we're building, we've outlined the tech we're going to use, and we've investigated Imgur, our source of data for our application. I really don't think we can procrastinate anymore. It's really time to start writing some code. So we're going to start by cloning the React Starter repo again. Remember, you can get here by going to github.com/StephenGreider/React Starter. Once you're here, you can either clone it using the link right here or download one of the releases. I've already gone ahead and cloned the app. Once you've cloned the app, don't forget to run your npm install to grab any dependencies. I've also done that already just to save us a little bit of time, so I'm just going to skip ahead to running gulp. We should see our page pop up, and on the top left-hand side, we should see hello pop up. All right, we're looking good here. I'm also going to pop my code editor open at the same time, and here we go. All right, so we're going to start our project here by scaffolding out the home page and the page that shows the users all the image in a topic, which we'll refer to as the topic or gallery page. This means that we need some method of showing more than one view of content on the screen. So this is where React Router is going to come into play. React Router is a library that makes it really easy to switch the content out on the screen, the content that's visible to the user, based on the links that the user has clicked while visiting your application. Think back to kind of your default vanilla HTML pages of years past and how they would handle showing the user distinct different content on the screen. Well, to do that, we would be navigating to different URLs, and based on the URL, we would show them just an entirely different HTML document, right? That's how we used to build web pages. Different URL, different HTML document, which means different content on the screen. For our application, we're going to be building an experience where the user downloads a single HTML document, so they only ever grab index.html. Then, we're going to change the content that appears on the screen to give the user the impression that they are actually changing pages whenever they visit a different URL. So again, one index.html file, but depending on the URL, we're going to show them different content on the screen. And that's going to make them think that they're navigating to different pages. So to make this happen, again, we're going to need React Router. We don't have it installed yet, so let's go ahead and install React Router. We're going to, at the command line, I'm inside of my project directory here, and we'll do npm install --save React Router. And we're going to grab a specific version here just because React Router's API is a little notorious for changing over time. So we're going to get version 1.0.3. And we're also going to grab another library at the same time that React Router depends upon called history. So we have npm install --save React Router at 103, and then don't forget the space and history. Okay, so we'll let that go ahead and run. So we're going to go ahead and make use of these two libraries at a very basic level, just to kind of get a feeling of what's going on here with the routing. At the top of app.jsx, we're going to go ahead and import React Router. So we'll say var React Router require React Router. Next, we're going to pull two specific properties off of the React Router object. So we'll write var router equals React Router dot router, and var route equals React Router dot route. Cool. So here's the rundown here. React Router is the actual library. It's got a collection of properties that give us the ability to do our routing on the page, and we'll investigate all the different ones over time. We pull off two properties here. First, router, and then route. Router is the actual router object that decides what content to show on the page based on the current URL. Route, on the other hand, is an object that we're going to use to configure the router. So router figures out what to show on the page, and route is what instructs router how to kind of construct itself. We'll jump in the example here in just a second, and I think it'll start to make a little bit more sense. So we're going to define two child components here. Two that we can just kind of use to play around with React Router a little bit. These are just going to be temporary right now. We're going to delete them in a little bit. So first, we'll make var child1 react.create class. And we're just going to define a simple render function where we will return h1, I'm child1. And then we're also going to make a child2, which is going to be basically identical. So I'm just going to copy paste right here. And we'll change it to child2. And I'm also going to change the text inside here to I'm the other child, child2. Okay, so we're going to do one other thing here that's going to look a little bit weird, but please just bear with me for a little second here, and I think it's going to make sense very quickly. On the hello component that's already inside of here, we're going to delete hello, and we're going to replace it with curly braces this.props.children. Okay, one last chunk of mystery code, and then I think stuff's going to start making a little bit more sense. We'll do a demo in the browser, and then we'll start explaining what all this code here is. So last chunk of mystery code, we're going to write var routes, and then in parentheses, we're going to write some JSX. So first we're going to make a router tag. Then we'll make a route, and this will have a property path of /, and we're also going to pass it a component of hello. Then we'll close the route, and we're going to make two more routes. The first one will have a path of 1 and a component of child1, and this will be a self-closing route. And then we'll make route path 2, and its component will be child2. A very common mistake here is the spelling on component. So make sure you have the spelling on component correct. If you have the component misspelled, you're going to get a kind of a challenging error to debug. Okay, at the very bottom here, we're going to delete the var element page, or excuse me, the var element line, and we'll replace element with routes, like so. Okay, so a bunch of mystery code here. Who knows what the heck we just did? That's okay. I'm going to go ahead and save this, and then we're going to flip over to the browser. And I'm going to go ahead and open our console. If you see the $_k here, don't worry, that's just a token here that's just for handling our live reload code. I'm going to go ahead and just delete that. So right now we've got localhost :8000 /# and I'm going to add on a 1 here to the end. So we have /1, and I'm going to hit enter, and okay, we have I'm child1. Don't sweat the error over here just yet. And I'm going to go ahead and delete this again. I'm going to change it to 2 this time. And we get I'm the other child, child2. All right, so looks like this is kind of working out, right? We have child1, which says I'm a child1, and we have child2, which says this, and it appears that we see these different components when we change the URL up here. But why in the world is that happening? Well, let's talk about it in the next section.